My name is Mayank Shekhar, and with me is, well, Alia Bhatt in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing, right? And you seem to say this quite often about what your acting process is, and it seems either you don't want to demystify it and let it be what it is, and chal raha hai, chalne do, is that you're extremely instinctive. You just do it, you do the take, and then you move out.
Yeah.
Would that be correct to say? Is that roughly what you do?
Pretty much. See, I do a lot of thinking. I'm very in my head, but it's in my head. Now, how am I supposed to express that? I did pick up something during Gully Boy when I was doing workshops with Atul Mongia, where every character and every character actually operates from 5 basic emotions. So even if it's a scene of even if it's a confrontational scene, say she's a very aggressive person, she'll maybe operate from that place. Things like that. Like I'm giving you basic examples. So maybe just Meet and I had a conversation of like, okay, what are her 5 words? What are the 5 emotions that she that dominate her life? But वो सब academic chats है. मतलब वो सब film शुरू होने से पहले ही हम लोग करते हैं. When you actually are on set, none of that comes into play, because if you are living in the moment and if you are responding to what happens. Now in a shot, if I have dropped the salt, I have dropped the salt. Now I have not planned that. I've dropped the salt, but then I have to respond to if she's a superstitious person, what she'll do with that salt. So things like that, like living a character, and sometimes it doesn't happen with every film, but living a character in the shot is so much more fun than living it before. Because then you're really responding and living and breathing in that moment. Yeah, if you ask me what is your process, I can't tell you, not because I don't want you to know, because I don't have one. I have basic things that I do to prepare, so I'm ready.
Would it be fair to say that over your career of a decade plus, you actually pick the director more than even the subject or the script? It can't be a coincidence that you practically worked with all the top directors there are in Bombay. Is there anyone left? I mean, started with Karan Johar, Bhansali we've spoken about, Abhishek Chaubey, another fantastic director, Zoya Akhtar, can't get better than that. You pick the director because you just feel safe in their company. Would that be correct to say?
Let's say first they pick me. They pick me, then I pick them. Yeah, of course. Because it is a director's medium. Yeah, you will not be able to deliver anything without the director.
It's a rather well-known fact that you actually seeked out Bhansali, for instance, right?
Absolutely.
You auditioned for Black.
Yeah.
He was going to do a film with you called Balika Vadhu?
Yeah.
How old were you then?
Well, when he decided to make it, I think I was about 9.
Wow.
And then he said, maybe I'll wait a couple of years and make it when you're like a little older. But then I think he dropped the idea altogether, which till today he says I shouldn't have dropped the idea because it went on to become such a popular show.
Eventually, yes.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't have listened to everybody. I should have made it and all of that. But yeah, I really seeked him out. Because I remember even then, like, it was such a big deal for me. Like, I was so young. I was a baby. But I was like, oh, I want to work with this filmmaker. And then, of course, when the idea of filmmaking became more clear to me, then it was even more of a sort of like a chase. And then you're also told these tales that...
Oh, what? At 9, you're like calling him up? Like, listen, do you have a role for me?
I didn't even know. My mother just took me for the audition of Black, and she didn't tell me. So my mom was very, very particular. Like, I used to get a lot of offers as a child actor.
Okay.
Which she didn't
After you did Sangharsh?
After I did Sangharsh, as a thing, I got a lot of these offers. My mom said no, like we did it as a one-off thing, but she didn't want me to be a child actor. She said, you live, you study, you have a life, and we will get into acting later. Yeah, I was always very clear I wanted to be an actor. I was like, we'll see. This was one I think she wanted me only to do because of the audition. Because she said, like, let's start auditioning, and of course it's Sanjay Leela Bhansali. So if you work with him, whatever it is, you have that experience.
Yeah, you won't just be a child actor.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like, you will be represented in a totally different way. So I didn't even know I was going for this audition of Black. She just took me for, she said, we are going for an audition. And I went, and then when we were literally entering the gate, I remember it's the building that he's still staying in, Magnum Opus. How ironical that his building is also called Magnum Opus. So we entered the building, and she was speaking to the watchman, and she said, Sanjay Leela Bhansali ke ghar pe jana. And I was like, like my jaw literally dropped because I didn't know, and she purposely didn't tell me because she knew I would get very nervous.
Oh, you were a fangirl on basis of what? What did you see?
On his movies, how?
Oh, which ones? Like, was there some movie that you were constantly watching? Like
I think
Hum Dil De Chuka Sanam? Okay, right.
Khamoshi I must have seen much later on. It's a very nuanced film, but I was in love with Hum Dil. I mean, I don't know at that time which films I had seen, but I had seen enough to
Right, you knew him.
be a fan.
Right, which is unusual for a child.
Yeah.
To know that directors' names and for the jaws to drop.
Yeah. So I jaw dropped, went in, met him, instant connect, instant connect, like just I don't know how, whatever it was instant. And so he said no. He auditioned me for Black. I don't know what audition I did, but he said no. This girl's going to be a heroine. We have to make different film with her. So then he came up with this Balika Vadu concept. We did costume
For
rehearsals.
You. Oh well, he was.
Or maybe it was already there. I don't
Sure.
know, but isko lete hai, wo wala idea aa gaya. So we did costume rehearsals. We did danced on Dola Re Dola and all of that. Like all of this has happened. And imagine Ranbir was in the office throughout this. We've done a photo shoot where my head was on his shoulder. Everything has happened. Ghoom fir ke, I don't know what happened. I went back to school. Sir decided not to make the film. But then that wo mere dil mein, like that keeda got stuck. That one day I have to work with him. So when I joined the movies, the understanding was Sanjay Leela Bhansali works with the actors at their prime. When they're at their prime, he works with them. Like that was that.
That's
feeling.
the aura, na?
That aura.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll reach my prime one day, and one day I will get to work with him. So when it happened, it was like a dream come true. And actually, it started like that break a leg na situation, because we started to do a film called Inshallah, which never happened.
With Salman,
right. Which never happened, which got shelved. Which I was like, what the hell? Like my dream is just was just coming true, and it's now cancelled. And then he came to me with Gangubai, and then that's what I talk about when you speak about the factors of like luck and destiny. Like had it not been for the film getting shelved, maybe Gangubai would have never come my way.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.